Greetings on this fine Saturday afternoon. I thought I'd come on this live again and show my beautiful, beautiful face. Check it out. No. For real. What am I on here for? My projects, plural. I have multiple projects going on. So, the signature challenge. I have been out and about. I forgot to post every business I went to, and honestly, I'm not even sure the name's bad, but there are a few out there, businesses that have flyers throughout the South towns, primarily in Hamburg. Yeah. And what is this signature challenge that you speak of? Well, I am looking for 100,000 of you people, wonderful people in Western New York. And if you're not in Western New York, just on that special box, click other and share your story. I would love it if I can have, along with 100,000 signatures, 100,000 stories. What are these stories for? And what is this signature challenge, Candida? Well, the signature challenge, growing up, my mom suffered as a hoarder. I grew up in a house that was extremely hoarded. Roaches, rats. There was an animal horde. I don't know how many cats we had in this one apartment. It was a 2-bedroom house. This one of the houses that we lived, or places we lived in. It was a 2-bedroom house. A living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom, and 2 bedrooms. With my mom and 5 of my siblings, so 6 kids. There was 1 adult cat and like a litter of kittens. Yes. And that tiny, tiny house that was roach infested. There's other people out there like that. Yeah. I wasn't the only one. And that house, from my memory, I would call it maybe a level 5 hoard. So sharing my story, I would love it if I can have one of you all share your story. Growing up, my dad was a neat freak. The opposite of my mom. Living with my dad, from living with my mom, it was like from one extreme to the other. And then when he got sick, I saw the decline of the upkeep of his home. Not because he didn't want to maintain the home, it's because he was ill. Also, giving birth to 3 children, postpartum depression, or what I believe was postpartum depression. I was not diagnosed, and I'm not a medical professional. I cannot diagnose myself. So I believe I suffered from postpartum depression. It got so bad. After each child, 3 times, it got so bad where I would forget to bathe. Yes, I would forget whether or not I showered. That's how bad it was for me. and there has to be others. All those stories I told you, there has to be others out there like that. All 3 of those situations, there was a medical need for having a clean home, psychological, children going to school from a messy home, they're not going to be able to function as well in school. Doing their homework in a messy home, they won't be able to function that well. Those recovering from illness, they will need, or very well could use, a clean home. Now, medical professionals, chime in, please, by all means. I will and have done a lot of reading on these various topics, and it messes with your health if you have a messy home, if you have a hoarded home, if you have mold or infestations, if there's clutter, if you have mobility issues or a sudden loss of sight. Another man this man was to the cleanest home I had ever seen in my entire life. I'm sure there may be some clean homes cleaner out there, but my uncle's home was the cleanest home I ever seen, ever in my memory, okay? And then one day he woke up blind. About 10 years prior to his death, he woke up blind. Or more, 10 to 15 years prior to his death, he woke up blind. Now, I could imagine, I mean, I don't know, because I can see, I have glasses, but, for the most part, I can see in front of me enough to clean. I can't say that I'll be able to clean that well if I just suddenly woke up blind. I couldn't tell you that, whether or not I'll be able to mop the floor. And after my uncle was blind, to go into his home, I'll say it was maybe 2 years after I went. I guesstimation, I was young, and his house smelled like a water potty. Smelled straight like piss. But he was blind. There's other people out there who are born without limbs, who have a sudden limb loss for whatever reason, and how well can they function? All of that is for the signature challenge. If you just gave birth, I believe all of those people, at least up until 6 weeks, you should receive free housekeeping. Now, if you have mobility issues, if you sudden loss of blindness, if you lost a limb, it is my belief you should have free housekeeping from that point until you're able to function, or you're maybe in an assisted living or some sort. That's what the signature challenge is for. It's also asking, do you think what, is 6 weeks enough for maternity leave? Do you agree with that? Personally, I say no. I say at least 6 months to a year. Everybody should receive maternity leave for 6 months to 1 year. That's what I think. So if you see this, go over to my website, sign the signature challenge. I also will upload a screen record. I did a screen record like a few seconds ago because I've had a report that somebody, at least one person, couldn't find the signature challenge via the link that I provided. There seems to be an issue with that link. I'm no tech expert, but I will try to work it out. But I was able to find a signature challenge, and I do think everybody else can if you just follow the steps. In the meantime, between time, I would love it if I can attend as many schools, as many as many schools, as many libraries, as many religious centers, schools, libraries, religious centers, universities, colleges as I can to get physical signature challenges. In the process, I had what I believe is a wonderful idea. For each organization, okay, if I can have as many people as possible purchase my book, The Erased Heir, The Fall of the Firstborn. This book is print to order. The link is on my website as well. And you purchase the book, you bring it to the location for a signature. I will sign the book. You sign my signature challenge. And you get $30 off a service. Okay? Bonus. Also, if you purchase some merch and wear it to the event, wear it to wherever the physical signature challenge is taking place, you also get $20 off. An additional $20 off. Okay? For the book, $30. For the clothing, merchandise, $20. A combined total of $50 for a $300 service order. What else am I just love all this stuff. What else? Because my goal is to service all of Western New York, each and every one of the 8 counties in Western New York. It's just little old me. I can't clean every house in Western New York. How is that going to work? Well, that's where my 1099 workers come in. Okay? You are essentially your own boss. You work where and when you want to work. Okay? I would ask each and every client to give me as much detail as they can about their job requirements for the cleaning of their home, office, or car, and you pick that job up. And also another one I'm doing. Also, so for the audition clean. Now, because, maybe you don't know if With Mother is a good service or not. And maybe you don't know if you want to work with Mother. Maybe you want to go somewhere else. Maybe it's not a good fit. So here's what I'm doing. The first client, the first order for each client, okay, will be $82 for up to 3 hours. $82 for up to 3 hours. And for the cleaner, you get $60. Okay? Can we service 100,000 houses? Can we get 100,000 comments? Can we get 100,000 likes? Can we get 100,000 shares? And once I get to $100,000 dollars per quarter for 2 years, 2 years, I will open up. Rather, let me retract. Open up. I will start working on the 5013C, where I will start my vision, because I will love it if I could provide free housekeeping for every home in Western New York with certain conditions. Okay? For those who can't afford it and for those who need it. I would love to provide each and every one of you with free housekeeping. So help me reach this goal. $100,000 per quarter. How can you help me reach? Katie, how can we help you reach this goal? Well, I have digital downloads that you can purchase. The cheapest one is $1. I'm also working on a magazine. Okay? Because I have so many interests, I thought I could try and combine it, in one magazine. So this magazine digitally will be free globally. Okay? Wherever you are in the world, if you can access my website, you can get the digital download of the magazine for free. Okay? So now, what does this magazine consist of? Well, 11 of my interests, just 11. I want to gather 716 articles, 65 articles per section, plus my one article will make it 716 articles, okay? Then, businesses. I'm looking for businesses. I love other things like homeschooling, yoga, holistic health, so anything related to those articles, to those sections, I want you in there. If you will want to participate, businesses. This is free advertisement for you guys. Okay? There's 65 sections just dedicated to businesses alone, any business. Okay? There are 65 sections. There's not 65 sections. There's 11 sections. There are 65 articles for one section, just dedicated to businesses. There's another 65 articles for one section dedicated to businesses, authors, black-owned businesses, black authors. And then, you know, I can certainly see like holistic health. That's a business. That's another section. Okay? So just because your business, the business section may be filled, maybe you can go in another section. Yeah. Share, like, comment, tag 3 people. If you see a live, share it. If you see one of my posts, share it. I am trying to get where I can go live via YouTube and every platform. So go over and share and like my platforms and subscribe and all the good stuff. Share, like, and comment. Thank you.